Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. It's in the description below. It is your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any Watchbox platform. Please reach out to me directly. Email tmosso@thewatchbox.com for pricing. Today we're discussing a watch in titanium and ceramic that debuted back in 2020. This is the Ulysse Nardin Blast Tourbillon. The watch is 45 millimeters in diameter, it's 13.2 millimeters thick, and it's 54.5 millimeters from lug tip to lug tip. Now when I throw it on my 16 centimeter circumference wrist, it fits better than I expected. Being all sapphire, rubber, ceramic, and titanium, it's very light on the wrist. And while the lugs do push right out to the edge of my wrist, it does feel well planted and comfortable. You can also see it's surprisingly thin. It would slide underneath a cuff. Charles Xavier, your watch has arrived. The X motif repeats again and again. This watch is offered on rubber or alligator leather. This is the integrated rubber strap. You can see you have a honeycomb-like pattern with some dark red accents, and then all matte black with some contouring and a little bit of faceting to blend it better with the lug profile. Very subtle on the underside. You can see that there are evacuations, making it more flexible, although from the top it's monolithic and imposing. Taking a quick look, you can see how it integrates with the lug profile, so everything looks all of a piece. There is a taper from the lugs down to the clasp, and the clasp is the still fairly rare and exotic sync clasp. So let me show you exactly what I mean by that. I mean both sides are synchronized and will always move together because there is a sort of a modified parallelogram. If you take a look, the clasp body itself includes two articulated rails that have hinges built in. So when you close one, the other side automatically closes, and when you open one, the other side automatically opens. It's almost, when you first encounter it, like a clasp with a mind of its own, but ergonomically it is outstanding, and it does make it a lot easier to close a clasp with one hand. Externally, you can see that we have a ceramic so that the buckle itself is nice and scratch resistant, and it is a twin trigger release, so you have to press both triggers in order to open this sync style clasp. There you go right there. Close that up, take a look at the case. In terms of construction, the upper mid case and the bezel are of ceramic. So it's ceramic on the top, very scratch resistant. The remainder of the metallic parts are titanium for lightweight. As in the case of Ulysse Nardin's marine chronometers of the 19th and early 20th century, those old navigation clocks had number plates fixed by bolts on the flanks of their cases, so this watch does too. You can see a UN nautical anchor, that's the logo of the company, recalling those times. And then you can also see that there are different facets in polish as well as satin to provide contrast. You can see we have both a sort of matte media blasted satin and then a brushed satin to contrast with the polish. Taking a look at the dial, open, airy. The dial almost one and the same as the UN manufactured caliber 172. UN and Girard-Perregaux, one manufacturer these days, sharing a lot of elements between their tourbillon watches. And of course this micro rotor at the top, tourbillon at the bottom, 12-6 arrangement will be familiar. It's seen on watches from both brands, but this one is very UN in that it includes Ulysse Nardin's proprietary silicon technology that it received when it purchased its partner Sigitech back in 2006. So you have an anti-magnetic in-house silicon hairspring and an unlubricated anti-magnetic full silicon escapement with both lever and escape wheel. Now it's a flying tourbillon beating away at 18,000 vibrations per hour. This is Ulysse Nardin's first ever colored balance. You can see the balance is red. It's also free sprung for durability and precise adjustment. It is a 1-minute tourbillon beating away at 2.5 hertz, and it is entirely of UN's construction. Now it's a flying tourbillon too, so it doesn't have an upper bridge blocking your view of the works. If we go up, you can see that there is a blackened platinum mass that winds the watch. It has a 72-hour power reserve, and the winding rotor is actually coaxial with the barrel itself. So 72 hours of power reserve. Although it's not a hardcore sports watch, it is 50 meters water resistant. And you can see on the reverse side that we have a combination of mirrored anglage or beveling on the edge of the primary bridge at center. We have satination across its top. The flanking bridges feature, and really the flanking bridges are the base plate, but they feature media blasting. We also have black polished screws, and you can see a concentric pattern surrounding the pivot that underpins the tourbillon. All of the wheels are silver. You can see they're either polished or silver satinated, which is an impressive contrast, as I've never seen a combination of polished and satinated wheels on a movement. And all of this is constructed within Ulysse Nardin, 25 joules. And of course, all of the company's proprietary refinements, along with style that is more or less echoed front to back, X on the back, X on the front. And though it's not always easy to see, you can see on the winding rotor, they have the latitude and longitude of the Ulysse Nardin manufacturer in Leloc. And on the dial side, we have a lot of red accents, the X profile, the printing on both the barrel and the rotor. There's the balance, then there's this circumferential ring that sits just underneath the sapphire. There is lume, but it's very faint. As you can see, it's there, but it does fade fairly quickly. You can see it's already beginning to lose some of its intensity. Nevertheless, this is a fun watch, and one that in terms of durability, you could absolutely wear full time. So reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details.